Westmoreland Sports Network pregame show continues from Kelly Automotive Park here in Butler, getting you ready for the first round of the PSAC Tournament. Seton Hill and Kutztown. And now the head coach, Marc Marizzaldi show. An interview with Brendan Constantino is coming up. Coach, first of all, congratulations. Another great season for you and a much more competitive Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. I don't know about much more, but a more competitive PSAC, and things just keep rolling for you. First place in the PSAC West. Congratulations on another great season.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. One of the things I talked to our guys about after our last game, we came back from our Florida trip. We were 9-8 at the time and 36-14 right now. So when you think about how we've grown as a team and how we're starting to make strides to begin playing our best baseball at the end of the season, I'm pretty proud of the effort that the guys have put forth to this point.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question to you. Just talk about your regular season. You mentioned you guys went 6-5 in Florida, came out of that 9-8 overall after the Florida trip, and then you guys hit a 17-game winning streak. Maybe hit the wall just a little bit after that. You're going to do that after a 17-game winning streak, but you come into the tournament on a 5-game winning streak, and it seems like you guys are kind of playing your best baseball when you need to.
Yeah, when you play a 28-game conference schedule in the PSAC, you're bound to run into some good pitching and have a couple of bad days, and I think that happened to us a couple of weeks ago. But throughout the season, I think our guys have had great responses when we've met adversity, and what was good for us, especially late in the season, is we still had something to play for. That number one seed in the West was within our grasp and within our control going into that last weekend, and our guys capitalized on the opportunity to seize that one seed. So a series of great responses to adversity throughout the year, and just staying hungry, wanting to get that one seed. And I think we've come into this tournament with a pretty good mindset of capturing this title as well.
You guys come in on that 5-game winning streak, 4-game sweep over Cal U, knocking them out of playoff contention. Also a victory over Alderson Broadus when the bats really came alive, and you also hit well against Cal U. Do you feel like that the team right now is swinging the best bats of the season when they need to?
I think so. A lot of guys have kind of worked through some mechanical adjustments in their swings. Some other guys really just needed to settle into what their role was. Our batting order shuffled around quite a bit through the first half of the year, and it's become more consistent. The offense is coming along and starting to gel together more than anything else, and you can see the confidence building in a lot of our hitters. But when you get into tournament time, you can be swinging the bats great, and a lot of times it comes down to pitching in this tournament. We've seen the dominant performance from Mercyhurst. Pitt Johnstown taking their starter all the way in the 8th here with a shutout. You can have a great offensive team. You run into that one pitcher, you really got to be able to find ways to manufacture.
Talk about the offense. Chris Miller, I have to ask you about him. He hit a $176 last year as a transfer from Akron, and he really seems like he's found his swing this year, hitting over 300, leading the team in RBIs. Talk about what Chris has done differently this year that maybe he wasn't doing last year at the plate.
I think the key for Chris this year was just really keeping a positive mindset. He went through a really difficult season last year, wasn't even on our postseason roster, and now he finds himself in the middle of the order for us. So I think he's such a positive kid that I think he came out this year very, very determined to prove himself and prove to his teammates what type of player he was, and he stayed positive even after a poor season last year, and just having a great attitude throughout the year, and you could see has raised his confidence level and allowed him to really produce in the middle of the order for us.
Another guy that's on this year's roster paying big dividends that maybe didn't last year in the playoffs is Taylor Schmidt. I know right now he's struggling a little bit at the plate, but my gosh, the 2 catches that he made in Game 2 against Cal U the other day were absolutely 10-star catches, unbelievable in center field. Talk about what he's meant to you defensively. And again, I know he's struggling a little bit at the plate right now, but he led the team in average for the majority of the season.
A huge pickup for us, obviously. We've had some fantastic center fielders to come through our program in the last few years, and I think it's really helped our pitching out quite a bit, and Taylor definitely ranks right up there. He's a guy that's finding ways to contribute with his speed, with his defense early on in the season, with his bat. He can bunt, he can hit the ball the other way. He's a fantastic athlete that competes extremely hard, and he's one of those guys, if he's not getting it done in one way, he's going to find another way to help the team, and he's done that for us.
Talking with Coach Marc Marizzaldi here on the pregame show. Coach, congratulations, PSAC West Coach of the Year, but I know you always want to keep the attention on your guys. Mike Biddle, Jesse Cooper, first team along with Cody Harold, first team all PSAC West, and Brendan Constantino was named second team all PSAC West. I know a couple of those guys might have been expected to be on that list, but before the season, I'm sure that you expected maybe some other guys to be on the list and maybe some of those not to be on the list, but it just goes to show how guys have really stepped up when maybe some other guys haven't had the years that you've expected.
Yeah, all those guys on that first team absolutely deserving. I think we may have a few other guys that were probably deserving as well that did make the list. But something I've touched on in the past with you, Dan, and you brought it up, is a lot of unpredictable things have happened to us this year, a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. And, the last couple of years, we were injury-free, which is something, we're very fortunate to do that and make a good run because we had the same guys in the lineup consistently throughout the year. That hasn't been the case this year. A lot of our key players have been out for the majority of the season, and what that's done is it's created opportunities for some of the other guys, and they've absolutely seized it. I probably would not have predicted 3 months ago that some of these guys have had the success that they did, nor would I predict that our lineup or our pitching staff would set up the way it has. But again, I think that just goes back to a testament to every guy on our team really just embracing whatever role they are given and just being resilient throughout the year.
And along those same lines, I'm sure if we asked you at the beginning of the year who you'd be giving the ball to in Game 1 of the playoffs, Mike Biddle's name probably wouldn't have come up, but he's had a tremendous season, among the leaders in the PSAC in wins and ERA, and you give him the ball here in Game 1. Was it any kind of a tough decision instead of giving the ball to one of your seniors, or is it a situation where, listen, Mike was just awesome this year?
Well, we're not giving him the ball. He's earned it, without a doubt. It really wasn't a question for us of who should we pitch. It's the guy that's embraced his role the best, and he's earned it, without a doubt. Typically it's a situation where you do go with seniors. We have a lot of seniors that have a lot of postseason experience, and of course that's crossed our mind. Had we played yesterday, Biddle probably would not have started for us, but the extra day rest and also the single elimination format almost forces you to go with your number one arm, and that's going to be Biddle for us today.
Talk about the differences. Is there any differences from a coaching standpoint other than the one you just talked about, if Mike maybe wouldn't have started yesterday, in single elimination, double elimination? Now the tournament is single elimination because yesterday was all wiped out. Anything different besides, I guess, not going with Mike yesterday and then going with him today?
I think it can affect your pitching a little bit. There is no tomorrow, so you really can't save anybody, but at the same time you want to make sure you do have a guy ready to start the next day or two. But I think the other thing from a coaching standpoint is just your mindset, and that's something I've tried to impress upon our players, that we're not coming in here to continue to work our way through the tournament and get to the championship. It's win or go home. So there is a sense of urgency, whereas if you lose the first game, the speech is, hey, we can come back tomorrow, and it's all about responding. But you're not going to have that opportunity to respond here today. You've got to go out and go after what's in front of you if you want to survive. So,
keys to winning the PSAC tournament and succeeding in the playoffs, Coach?
I think what I believe our players need to do is have as much fun as possible. I know we just talked about win or go home, but I believe that our team is at our best when we're playing our game, having a lot of fun and just enjoying the opportunity to be here. When we start to think about what's next, what could happen, what might happen, we get away from what's important. So I'm just going to really continue to remind our guys, just play every pitch with your best effort and enjoy the opportunity to be here.
You draw Kutztown. You're the fourth place team in the PSAC East. Tell us a little bit about them and, again, what you guys have to do well against Kutztown.
To be honest with you, we don't know a whole lot about Kutztown in terms of what they do well or what they don't do well beyond what their statistics are, but it's a team that we have faced in the postseason. Right. They're traditionally one of the best programs in the PSAC. I know that they are very deep and very talented on the mound, but I think what we faced over the last couple of weeks here with Slippery Rock and Mercyhurst and working our way up to the top of the PSAC West, we've prepared ourselves for any opponent, and I feel confident facing them today.
Coach, congratulations on a great season. These games, by the way, these interviews will be on video, and we have to give Jimmy a little bit of props behind the camera after these 2 10-minute-long interviews. You're going to hear Brendan Constantino is coming up, but Jimmy, props to you behind the camera. I think his arm might be breaking a little bit. So
I think we got to give him a break here. That camera seems to be dropping a little
bit. He was moving around a little bit. Coach Maz, thanks a lot for your time as always. Congratulations on a great year, and hopefully a deep playoff run.
Thanks, Dan. It's great having you guys here today.